Well, the obvious presence of terror groups linked to al-Qaida in Syria has led to major fears that the country's chemical weapons might end up in the wrong hands. The Syrian government has only recently acknowledged the existence of stockpiles, but insisted they are secure and that they'd never be used in the current internal conflict. RT's Oksana Boyka brings us the details from Damascus.
At Monday's news conference here in Damascus, Foreign Ministry spokesman did admit that Syria indeed possesses chemical weapons, something that non-proliferation experts have suggested all along and that the Syrian authorities have never straightforwardly denied. Damascus has never signed the Chemical Weapons Convention, so technically it's admitting to having those chemical stockpiles is not a violation of any international treaty. On the top of that, Syrian officials have long suggested that they need some sort of deterrent against Israel's similarly non-admitted nuclear weapons program. In terms of capabilities, Syria is believed to possess nervous agents and mustard gas, as well as missile capabilities to deliver those weapons. Those chemicals are believed to be produced at 5 facilities around the country, including 2 locations in Hans and Homa. Those cities, as you probably know, have seen major fighting between the opposition forces and the army. Several Israeli and Western officials over the past few months have raised concerns that if Bashar al-Assad's regime indeed falls, those chemicals could fall into terrorist hands. And while the Syrian authorities have sought to downplay this threat, they're saying that all the weapons, including chemical weapons, are now under direct supervision and control of the Syrian army. Despite those statements, it is believed to be a considerable threat, and the Western policymakers should consider that as one of the negative outcomes of the support for the opposition forces. Now, over the past few weeks, we've seen speculations in Western media suggesting that the Assad government may use those chemicals in its fight against armed groups, and this suggestion was categorically denied at this press conference in Damascus on Monday. The Foreign Ministry spokesman said that no chemical or biological weapons will ever be used during the crisis in Syria, no matter what developments inside Syria. He also said that all these speculations were part of a major media campaign to prepare international public opinion for military intervention in Syria under the false pretext of weapons of mass destruction, similar to the one that toppled Saddam Hussein.
Now, American author and radio talk show host Dr. Kevin Barrett believes the international media is hyping up the issue of chemical weapons to pave the way for possible external action.
This does remind us of the bogus WMD accusations that were floating around prior to the unprovoked invasion of Iraq. There have been all sorts of stories and rumors over the past couple of months about the Syrian opposition training with chemical weapons in Turkey with the intention of setting up a false flag event in Syria to be blamed on the Assad government. And it seems that perhaps that's what's in the cards. It may be that there is an attempt to pave the way for this by preparing public opinion for the idea that this evil Syrian regime uses chemical weapons.